Yeah. What's good, yeah? So on this video, guys, I wanna make it quick, okay? I wanna give you some insight, right, on how to use GERMATIA, right, which is the study of adding up words, right? And there's the feminine version of it, which is numerology, right, which is the study of adding up numbers, large numbers, and dividing them into their prime number, right, aka their signature number, right? So we know the signature number of 9 and 6 is 3, right? And the signature of 12 and 24 is 6, right? And so on. So now, when you learn to add words, right, and you can also learn how to divide them, but it's different when it comes to words, because with words you have to understand tones, right? A tone, ha, wa, la. If you have this background of words, if you have this understanding, this fundamental understanding of the tones of words, then you're gonna be able to, by default, understand GERMATIA, right? Because it's the study of adding up words. So this is how you do it, right? I'm gonna make an example with what? 2 words, right? And the words that I have is I wanted to do resonance and liver, right? aka your liver, right? Your liver. And resonance, resonation, resonate, aka resonating with something, right? So now, let me start with resonance, right? When you break down resonance, aka you add it up, right, using GERMATIA, this is how you do it. As I said, you break it down based upon the what, or you add it based upon the tones of the words, right, and what they resemble. So we know that re means a repetition, right? A continuous doing of something is a re. To repeat, to reply, to report, to represent is to continuously do something, is to reproduce, to re. You understand? Now, son, resonance, reson, or reso, or a so means sun, light, vision, to see, to saw, I see, I saw. So it's light, it's what's being projected from the light. It's a saw, right? A song is projected from the light to the mouth. So it's a saw. We know NG means continuation. So whatever has been projected from the mind and continuously, like listen to this. You see, can you hear the background song at the back? It's a continuation of specific tones, and then they make a certain vibration. Understand? And then they create resonance, aka whatever that's in that vibration will love that music. So now a saw, as I said, is light, right? And I made an example with song, breaking the word song into, using GERMATIA, right? I said so means light, a projection of light. It's a so. as spirits, when we project light, we say saw. We saw that light, we are projecting that light. So we saw it and now we're giving it to others to see it. And then a song is that projection continuously. It's like, because saw is what? Light that's being projected. NG represents continuously. Let's look at it. Continuing, going, doing is a continuous thing. Understand? So a song, when we break it down using GERMATIA, is a projection of light that's been done continuously. That's a song. Think about it. So moving on. Resonance, right? So I'm gonna add the N because it's clear that there's so. It's not so, it's son, right? Because the tone is son, it's light. So like once you get to understand it broadly, then you're gonna be able to like cut through corners, so to speak, instead of like trying to find more evidence than you actually need for you to know what you want to explain, right? So now we have the last number, which is ends. Raison. We broke down re, which is a repetition of light. That is what ends. Ends means a stance, a position, So a position shift is an ends. So whenever something shifts from its position, that position that is being shifted from, we call it an ends. So when a person is in a position, we call them a stance, right? And when they move from that position, it becomes an ends. It's like when a person was alive, right? And then they die. When we look at their image, aka their position, who they were in the world, as we perceive them, we call them an ancestor. So an ends is a stance, it's a position that's been shifted from. So an ancestor is an individual, right, that was in a position, and then they shifted from that position into Easter. Okay, let's look at Easter. Da means a higher part of something. Look at words like elevator, hater, like words like that, they have the tone that we are looking for. You understand? So now we know that before we get too lost, right? I just want to break this one very quick, because when you start to talk about cest in the ancestor, it can mean a brother or a sister. What do they call this act? Incest. What do they call it? When two people from the same family have an affair, right? Incest, or what they call it. So cest is either a brother or a sister. A cest is like a sibling, you understand? But from the perspective of feminine inversion, and masculine version, understand? From that perspective, a cest is a brother or a sister, a female or a male, right? So now, an ancestor is an individual who has been moved from their physical body, their position that we knew them as, right, into a higher position as a male or a female version of themselves. Simple. So I broke the ways now. I'm gonna break down the last two, right? The last one, after I break this down, so that you can understand. So now, raison ends. So this repetition of light, it's moving from its initial position to another position continuously, aka now it's resonating. So when you're resonating, you're moving in a projection of light, that you are moving an image in your mind, or you are looking at something that your mind sees as something that it recognizes, right? And then you're gonna say, I resonate with that. But when you start to break it down using GERMATIA, it means the repetition of a projection of light that is moving from one position to another, aka in the same place, but from one position to another. You understand? Just like us on this planet, we are in the same place, but you can go to wherever that you want to in this very same place. You can go to a lot of different places. So even in the spiritual world, in the world where we use GERMATIA to identify what is happening, it's still the very same meaning, but from a much more broader perspective, from a spiritual point of view. So now we're going to move to the next word, which is lever. So lever, we have, you know what is a lever? It's something that is used to support something, right? A lever. Okay, let's do this. When I say a lever, I mean literally a lever, your organ, your human liver, right? Sure. So now, your human liver, when you start to break it down spiritually, or using GERMATIA and try to understand what it is and what's its functions, right? This is how you can do it without using the dictionary, just using your knowledge of tones, right, of words, and the understanding of like language in general, you know, the basic understanding of language, not even the like a tertiary level, you know, understanding of knowledge, just the basics. So now a lever, right, is what? A lever is a substance, right, that is in a higher frequency, right, or a substance of high value, right? Think about your liver. It produces all these substances that support your body, right? So a ley is a substance, right? A va, right? Think about a rover, right? A lever. You know, words like that. That's the frequency that we are looking for. They resemble height, you know, or support, something that has its own support, you know. So a lever, it's a substance, right, that has its own support. Think about your human liver. What does it do? It always rejuvenates and repairs itself. Scientists have already mentioned that the liver is the most reproductive organ in your body. They thought it was the skin and all the other stuff, but they've come to the conclusion that the liver is the most reproductive organ and the most, in essence, the most important organ of your body. So it's because of what? It is self-sustaining. It can support itself. Through what? Through the substance that it is. So that's a liver. So now, I just wanted to break down these few words so that you can start to develop ideas for yourself and understand what spirituality is, right? And you can understand what words mean before you can even look into the dictionary. You can just know by just their tones and the meaning of each individual tone that you get from each individual synonym and all that. Understand? Because you don't even need to know the labels for these words, right? If you can know that re means repetition, ng means continuation, no matter what language, as long as you can understand that language and find that continuation and what it means in that language, in that other language, then you can, even if it's not English, you can know. You can use the very same example. So I don't know if it's possible with all the languages, because some of these languages you don't use the same letters as the English ones, right? But in general, that's all I said. GERMATIA 101, presented by Hippie Soul in the building. Man. Bam.